A little bit of a late start. Hey guys, a little bit of a late start today, but we are live on YouTube now. YouTube link in the bio. Make sure you guys don't forget to tune in. We're about to catch some nice pips on gold. We are live on YouTube now. YouTube link in the bio. Make sure you guys don't forget to tune in. We're about to catch some nice pips on gold. It's a little bit of a late start today, but we are live on YouTube now. YouTube link in. Hey, what's up? What's happening? Good, bro? Alright, let's look at the weekly quickly. Alright, we see over here now. We had our liquidity area. Of course, resistance we turned into support. At this point, we need to see what we are tapping on weekly, because weekly is pushed up way too much, right? So we need to see some sort of retracements on the weekly time frame, because the weekly has pushed up way too much. So I'm looking to see if we can catch those retracements, because look at the area that we're tapping at this point as well, right? We're tapping this area at this point, very strong area. Weekly has pushed up a lot. Looking at the daily as well, even the daily now at this point is formed a bond wick. So another thing I do want to look at, right? Because previous daily actually rejected from the same area and then it became a pullback. So now this one's forming a bond wick to potentially go up to retest highs. That's how it looks like on the daily candle, but let's just look at the weekly. Okay, looking to the left now, where do we usually see a nice push up from? So in order for price usually comes down to this area, and then from here it will do a pullback, right? So it will pull back straight back up to 1870. So let's see if we tapped this area. Okay, so this is where we're rejecting from at this point, right? And seems like the daily candle does not have an upper wick. And so looking to the left as well, we have really clean traffic. Let's look at the 4-hour structure. Okay, so the 4-hour actually came all the way down to retest this structure lows over here. So we are forming higher highs and higher lows. Let's see what we can find out on the 30 minutes as well. 30 minutes looks really bullish at the moment. This was our resistance area right here. On the 30 minutes, we can see price actually came up and then we closed above this, and then potentially this can become your pullback, right? But again, we are quite bullish, so I don't want to fight the trend. If it seems like the daily has formed the bond wick and it wants to go up to retest the highs and potentially form a bigger upper wick, then I'm more than happy to take this up. On the 4-hour, we are forming higher highs and higher lows. Got one rejection from here. After that, the correction up was really nice. And after that, we did not violate the structure lows. So the structure lows are actually all the way down there. So we are still within our, uptrend structure. And at this point, we're forming a higher high. And so honestly, we got this resistance area that we are approaching here. As soon as we start to violate this, we're going to go straight to the top, all the way to potentially the highs that we formed on the weekly, right? To retest the highs. So now let's go back to the 30-minute time frame, see what we can see. Two things can be happening. We do understand a lot of sellers are sitting up here, so we do want to be extra careful, because from here potentially like a lot of momentum to the downside can start kicking in. So we do want to obviously investigate this area, because you guys can see from this area we pushed down about 140 pips, and this area is actually not too far away from our current price action as well. Is only about 40 pips, right? So you gotta be super careful. Let's see how this candle forms now, because you have the bottom wick as well as the upper wick now, right? So let's quickly just mark the bottom wick on this 30-minute candle, because if we start to reject now, at that point we can most definitely take some sell positions as well. Look, at this point the price has the upper wick as well as the bottom wick, and this is when you have low volatility in the market, right? So let's go down to lower time frames. Okay, this was your open right here. This is when we opened. Price actually came all the way down now, right? So this becomes your highs at this point. Now we see that a lot of selling momentum kicked in from here. So price has no business breaking these highs unless the probability to the top side goes up. So now let's say if we start to violate these lows again, this is the session open. We're forming lower lows and lower highs. On the weekly time frame, we are quite bullish, and we have tapped into a really strong resistance zone. So that's something I'll definitely keep in my mind. The weekly can most definitely start to retrace now, because it is a Friday as well, even though the daily candle looks like it's rejecting after forming that bottom wick. I really do want to keep the weekly candle in my mind, because previously daily has been really bullish. We had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles straight up straight up 5 candles. And we do understand that we have a liquidity zone literally here as well. If we look at the weekly, this kind of was our liquidity zone right here. And so potentially even like some sort of retracement back to this liquidity zone, because we've achieved our target now, right? So now let's be realistic. We can't really achieve the next target, which is the next resistance. Today is a Friday. We don't really have NFPs today, so we can't realistically achieve that. So now we need to see if we can catch those pullbacks pretty much back to the next key area. And so now that's kind of what I'll be looking to do. If we can start violating these structural lows over here, at this point now, I'll look to take a sell position, honestly. If you can see a nice bearish candle start to violate those structural lows. Xauusd, minute 1. Hey bro, it's not letting me change my charts on Xauusd. I don't know why. Properties, step by step, zoom in, trade history. Because look at the way your hourly is rejecting at this point as well. I think it's, look at the rejection on the hourly candle as well at this point. Yeah, I think this might just be a very nice rejection to form new lows, because same area, look, from the same area we're rejecting, really big area, right? And at this point, if we start breaking these lows, we've got really nice clean traffic all the way to the support area as well. So I think sells can really play out here. I might be looking to execute on sells as soon as we start breaking these lows. But again, want to be extra careful. Looking to the left, usually price comes all the way up to this level. We reject off of this level, so we understand that this is some sort of zone that we have. A lot of buying momentum has kicked in from here as well, so I want to see a nice close below here. At that point, probability is on our side, the momentum's in the market, and yeah, let's just see if we can start turning this area over here into some sort of resistance at this point now. This is your new 30-minute open as well. You have a lot of volatility. The 30-minute highs are all the way up here. So at this point now, if it seems like probabilities to the downside, I'm most definitely executing on this trade to the downside. As soon as we start to close below this, that'll be it. View charts, depth of the market. Yeah, I think sells can play out nicely today because the weekly might be rejecting heavily. We have a really strong zone on the weekly.
Yeah, I think so too, brother.
Keeping the stop loss literally just above this structure highs, really. I think if we can start breaking below this, we can keep our stop loss literally above these structure highs. So even from here, how big would the stop loss be? About 20 pips, right? Man, my charts, they're not letting me change my thingy. Oh, hold on a second. Things bugging out a little bit, so I don't know what's happening over here. Come on, magic keys. What's happening? What's the issue? I don't know, bro. It's not letting me execute a position for some reason. Magic keys, unfortunately.
Hey, I posted my analysis on the YouTube chat if you want to take a peek at it.
Okay. Good stuff, my bro. Look, at this point, we need to close below this, and then next one needs to start breaking these lows. I think we can take it all the way down. I don't know what's happening. My MetaTrader 5 is bugging out a little bit for some reason. Okay, let me actually quickly just restart this. But I think sells right now, bro, they look really good. If we start breaking below this now, start turning this into a resistance, start pushing down. Man, this thing's bugging out so much. It's not letting me. Do you know, bro, how I can change this from the hourly? Hold on a second, let me try again. Change this from hourly.
MT5?
Yeah. Because it's not letting me do that.
Just do the right click.
Right click.
Yeah, can you do that?
Yeah,
like on mine, it gives, and then go to timeframes.
Timeframes. Okay, amazing. So now what?
Oh, you're on templates. It's the one right above timeframes. Yeah, then you can switch it.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. Okay, at this point, I really like this, man. To take it to the downside, keeping a tight stop loss, about 20 pips. And just let this go down, honestly. the way this is printing now, look at this, engulfed everything. I just want to see that next retest start breaking these lows. I'm taking it downtown. Oh, bruh, it's not going to let me open this position now. I don't know what's happening with magic keys. Man, that's one thing really annoying about magic keys though. I don't know why it does that many times, because I want to take a position here real soon. So now gotta wait, honestly. Okay, I think my magic keys are ready to go now. Okay, honestly, so I'm gonna look to take a position here if we can start violating these lows now, start closing below this, because we do understand one thing, right? This is your session open at this point. As long as you don't break and violate the highs over there, you should be good to go. The probability is to the downside, because the weekly, look at the way the weekly should be rejecting now. So you can see massive sells play out. Look at the weekly candles. See that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So due to that reason, I'm looking to cash in on these sells. Even though the daily seems like obviously it's rejecting, right? After doing the pullback. Now only two scenarios can really play out. Either the daily bottom wick is done and we're going to go up to retest the weekly highs, and then potentially from there start to reject, because the weekly highs are all the way up here, right? 1870. We can see that 1870 is kind of like our key zone as well. So now this is two scenarios that can play out. One thing, we do have a really tiny wick on the daily candle to the top side, so we do want to keep that in our mind. That does work in, you know, obviously buying favor. So if we do take our bias to the top side, then we can use that as one of our confluences. So now in order for us to obviously cash in on these sells, we need to see, look at this hourly candle as well. Literally it has no bottom wick whatsoever. Do you have a bottom wick on this current hourly candle?
No, I don't. Let me
You
see.
don't, right? Yeah. Because the thing is, even though the daily is rejecting, I'm thinking about the weekly candle. What's the weekly candle going to do? So maybe it might want to push up first, and then after that start rejecting later on in the session. But now in order for us to do that, it needs to respect the highs that it has formed, right? If it wants to reject later on, then obviously it needs to start to violate these 30-minute highs. But now if we start breaking below this 30-minute lows again, start to violate these structural lows, I think we're going down. Otherwise, it becomes a bit tricky, right? Because this becomes your pullback, and you know a lot of buyers are sitting here as well. Literally, this is your resistance level on the 30 minutes. So let's see how this plays out. I have to wait and see. Hopefully my magic keys is on now, bro. It keeps on giving me error every time I turn it on. Let me see now. Alright, it's on now. Hopefully I don't get error at this time. And potentially what can be happening now is, if we quickly go down to the 15-minute time frame, look, we violated the structure lows as well. Actually violated the lows of the previous 15-minute candle here, but we do have a resistance level over here, so that's why I think we're getting this rejection from this level, right? And this is when you have volatility in the market as well. So yeah, most definitely we're not going to fight the volatility. Now again, we're gonna play the game of probability. At this point, we do understand that obviously sellers did take control from this point on. So if we start to violate this now, at this point, most probably we're gonna go up to retest the 30-minute highs, right? But until then, if we do respect this and we see a nice bearish candle, at that point, this just becomes your double top and it becomes your rejection, right? So we just have to wait and see what happens now. But I would really like to take those sells, bro, if it works out on the weekly time frame. On the daily time frame, intraday time frame, because we do trade intraday time frame, we got to keep that in our mind. We are intraday traders, obviously, right? We're scalpers. So on the intraday time frame, buyers make more sense, obviously, because you are rejecting off of that key area after obviously forming higher highs, higher lows. You haven't seen one massive bearish candle. The candle has not violated the lows of the previous candle either. It is starting to reject, so most probably it can go up to retest the daily highs. But on the weekly time frame, the area that we have tapped, I really want to see weekly end up all the way down here, 1834. 1834, if I can see the weekly coming all the way down there, I'll be a happy man. Bro, I might be looking to take a sell position soon, the way this is closing. If it closes nicely though. This is the new 15-minute open as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it needs to form an upper wick as well as the bottom wick. So I'm only taking one trade today. So obviously I want to have patience and make sure I get in the best high probability setup. Okay, look at the minute structure again. Seems like we are starting to again reject this area over here. This top over here is still holding, right? But again, we do understand one thing: there is a lot of momentum here. A lot of momentum. This is a really, really strong zone. A lot of buy orders do get executed here. A lot of sell orders do get executed here as well. So until we can see the sellers taking control from this point on, it becomes a bit tricky. From up here, the entry becomes really, really tricky, right? So if you can start seeing momentum kick in from the downside and a lot of selling momentum kick in from like down here, this point on, we can definitely take it down. If you see, even if I see like a nice candle here, it could take like one dynamic risk entry up here and then another one down there. I might be looking to do that, but let's see. Because this is the 15-minute open now. If it starts breaking the lows, most probably will coming down to the next area, right? This point on, last candle rejected, and this one, if it starts breaking these lows with some sort of momentum, why not? We could take it down potentially. We just need some momentum to kick in. That's it.
The 1 hour is like looks like a pretty good rejection.
Yeah, look at the hourly as well. Look at the way it's just rejecting, right? So now this becomes your pullback. Us going back up becomes your pullback because the rejection was so massive.
Yeah, and we don't have a bottom wick on that 1 hour.
Exactly.
Anyways.
We need to form the bottom wick anyway. So buyers become really tricky. Really, really tricky. And look at the way it's rejecting as well. And it's rejecting from this area where we formed a new low from. And the low is really, really massive. Really, really strong momentum to the downside from this point on. And we're forming a double top. Potentially, would you consider this a double top? I mean, it is a little bit below. But again, look at that. We had a retest literally right here. So it kind of does look like a double top here. Look, we had literally the retest here, and then from there price started to drop. So yeah, I would like the Xauusd to play out today, honestly.
Yeah, we got that new 4 hour open in 11 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking I might take one entry up here if we do see some momentum to the downside, and then kind of like look to scale in later on, like down there, as soon as we start to break the hourly lows. I'm thinking about doing that. Let's see how this candle closes. I want to see a nice bearish candle close right now. Kind of giving me like a 20 pip stop loss, so I can aim for that 1-to-1. Greeting guys, who is PG? Paul is my guy. Paul is my guy. He's been around for a long time. Paul, they're asking about you, man, in the YouTube live stream. They're saying, who is PG?
Just the guy here learning to trade, man.
But Paul is a really, really disciplined trader with the correct mindset. He knows that this is the long-term game, not the short-term gains.
Consistency over everything.
Yes, sir. That's why we're so disciplined.
And sustainability.
Yes, sir. We haven't taken even one trade yet because... But honestly, bro, I don't know, man. You see, the thing is, right, with the bias, it becomes really, really tricky. For me, in order for me to actually, like, execute on bias, I want to see at least, like, a nice close above this. Like, a nice close above this area. Maybe I might look for buyers above this, but until then, it becomes really tricky for me to actually execute on any sort of buyer position, honestly. Over here, I'm looking to scale in with one sell position here. If we can start honestly closing below this now, this area here, we can start closing below this area. I'll look to execute on a sell position. Like one tiny position here, and then take another one below the structure lows. So I want to see a nice close below this, and I'll execute on a position. But it has to close, right? Otherwise, it might just reject.
Yeah, a good close underneath would be nice.
Yeah, otherwise they can potentially just reject, because look at this, right? This again becomes your rejection area right here to the left. If you just align this to the left. So you want to watch out for this. You know that there are buy orders here because you do get those rejections, and then the rejections are really massive. So if you can kind of like close below this, at that point I might scale in with one position, kind of like keeping my stop loss above the structure highs. And then as soon as we start to violate these, I can scale in, because at that point it becomes a winning trade, right? So I can make the first trade risk free, and then the second one I can put some more risk on the table. And yeah, we have a really, really nice range to the downside as well. Look at the 4 hour. You have such a nice range, because it can potentially go all the way down to the wick fill. So you have a really, really nice range. Okay, I'm starting to like this, bro. The way it's closing now as well. I might look to scale in with a position here soon, guys. Honestly, my magic keys are ready. If we can start kind of like breaking below this, Let's see though. Yeah, see, you have to wait for this to close below. Otherwise, it becomes a bit tricky. If you can get a nice close below this. Because that's the thing, right? You have a lot of buy orders here. So until we actually get a nice close below this, and then as soon as we start to close below this, guess what's going to happen? Selling momentum is going to kick in. A lot of sell orders are going to start being executed up here. At that point, we're going to push it down, right? And then obviously the next zone is all the way down there because we did push down to this level. So that's the thing. We do have volatility at this point as well. So if we're going to do it, we're going to do it now. Game of probability. As long as we don't violate these highs, we should be good. But above this, it becomes a bit tricky. Because at that point, you're most probably going to come up to the top side of the range. So yeah. With the buys, becomes a little bit tricky because you do have this zone over here as well for the buys. So it becomes really, really tricky. You have this zone over here as well. From here, you can see some sell orders being executed. It might just be like a deeper pullback, violating these highs to potentially take sell orders from there to push down. But again, the sell orders from here usually are pullbacks. So they're not the actual moves. But from here, you can see it's actually like, you know, the sell orders collected from this area gives you the actual move down. So let's see what happens, man. Look at the weekly candle again. Looks like we're getting a massive rejection. But again, we need to see where can we reject to, potentially down here, right? So if you look at the daily candle, it did reject all the way down to this level, and now the daily candle is rejecting to the top side. So I would not marry the idea of just looking for sells either, because the buyers can really nicely work out as well. If you guys just see this, right? They can really nicely work out. So at this point, these areas do become crucial. If we start to break above these, at that point, yeah, buying momentum kicks in, then we're taking it all the way to the top side, right? But in order for me to execute on buyers, it's got to be really safe. Potentially buyers above this area. A nice close above this. Until then, it's just sells. So, but if we start to break above this, buyers above this for sure. At that point, you're getting a nice rocket ship to the top side. Something like this, basically. Until then, sells. But above this, as soon as we start to close above this, I think buyers can really play out nicely. But we'll have to wait, though. We'll have to wait. Buy above this. Have to wait for a nice close, a nice break out of this. Because potentially what you can do is you can come up here, get explosive push up to this level, from there start to pull back. So I would like to see a nice close, a pullback, and then after that obviously we can take it back up. Until then, as I said, it's just like potentially price could just be grabbing more selling orders up here to start dropping down, so you want to be super careful. But the momentum seems like it is to the top side now, because the daily candle is rejecting off of that key area. At this point now, need to play the game of probability, and if the daily candle is doing that, then guess what we are doing? We're going to push all the way to the daily highs, right? Where are the daily highs? The daily highs are all the way up here. So this could be like our TP1, basically. The daily highs right there. Obviously, we're going to secure up 1-to-1s, but that could be like our main TP1, the daily highs. Look at the way the candles are at this point starting to print. We are forming higher highs and higher lows. So let's see if we can start breaking out of this area. At that point, buyers should play out. Until then, as I said, below this is just sells. Below this area is just sells for me. Ooh, look at this candle though, to the downside. Ooh, I like this. If we can close nice engulfing bearish candle, I think we can take it all the way to the downside. Ooh, might be tempted on this, bro. Like if we see a nice bearish engulfing candle start breaking these lows, I'm taking a position to the downside. Honestly, bro. This is now, see, it came up, collected a lot of selling orders, and look, price is pushing straight down. Something like this, basically. If this can play out, I'm looking to take it all the way down to the 1-to-1 now. Obviously, 1-to-1s come before anything else. If this works out, it will be a nice trade to the downside. Honestly, I can see this starting to drop soon, bro. If we hold this level, it's gonna drop. Ooh, I like this, guys. I like this. I might be looking to take a position here now to the downside of this. All right, I'm in this position to the downside. Let's see how this plays out. 1 to 1. A lot of selling orders have been executed at this point, and yeah, let's see what happens. I'll secure 80% at 1 to 1 if it works out. So yeah, let's see. A little bit of an impulsive entry, but you know what? It's starting to show us that momentum is to the downside, and a lot of selling orders kicked in from here. At this point, you broke the structure lows once again. So now, obviously over here, you have more buy orders being executed, right? So at this point now, you wanna have those sell orders kind of like take out these buy orders again. So as soon as you break these lows again, that's another confirmation. But you don't want to break these highs. As soon as you break these highs, the trade becomes invalid. And this becomes your retest to grab more buy orders to potentially push up to form new highs, right? So at this point now, the momentum you want to see has to be to the downside. You don't want to see more momentum to the top side. At that point, it becomes a bit tricky to trade this, and I'll take this out. So my stop loss is really, really tight. It's literally just above this, literally just above that. And yeah, let's see how this plays out. Let's see. As soon as you start breaking below this, that's a lot of confirmation to the downside. Honestly, a lot of confirmation. But you just want to see these lows get broken with momentum, and we're going all the way to the downside. All the way to the downside. And let's see. It seems like the lows are about to get broken. And let's see. Yes, sir. We're about to break these lows just yet. And there we go. Let's see now if we can start violating these lows. And at that point, this looks really good to go down. And about to break the lows where we collect the buy orders from. So if we see some momentum to the downside kick in now, this trade should be beautiful, at least down to this area. And at this area, we can look to manage positions, kind of like make it break even, right? Because potentially can collect a lot of buy orders from here. But again, what we can do is not like make it break even, but kind of like manage our stop loss and put our stop loss above this area, right? Where we saw sell orders kick in from. As soon as we start to break this area now. So let's see what happens. You want to see this candle here start to respect all these highs over here though. You don't want to see these highs being violated at this point now. As long as we respect these highs, I think we should be good to go down. Otherwise, if we start breaking these highs, then the buy orders will obviously, there were way more buy orders than sell orders, right? And then the market wants to go back up. So yeah, let's just see how it plays out. This is kind of like your range as well. So as soon as we start breaking these lows here, I think we're going to dump all the way to the downside. There we go. What a beautiful candle we got. And it's going straight down at this point. Let's see if we can start closing below this area at this point. As soon as we get a nice close below this, I think our 1-to-1s will get hit. It will be a really nice trade to the downside. Because buys become really, really tricky, man. I really do like these sells to the downside, and hopefully let's see how they play out. At this point, honestly, the way the candles are printing, they are printing really nicely. We're forming new lower lows and lower highs. We just want to see a nice close below this now. As soon as we see a nice engulfing close below this area here, at that point, this becomes a really, really good high confirmation trade. With an impulsive entry, but as soon as we see a nice close below this, at that point, it gives us the extra bit of confirmation on our side. So then at that point, this becomes a really, really nice entry, right? There we go. We're starting to see some momentum to the downside at this point now. And now let's see if we can get a close below this area. If we can do that, that'll be beautiful. And there we go. Got a decent close, and then the next one's opening now. You want to see the next one start to break these lows and push all the way down to this support area. At that point, we want to see this area here being respected, and you want to see a lot of sell orders being collected from here, taking price all the way down to the next support area, starting to violate the support area, pushing all the way down to our 1-to-1s. That's what we are looking to see, guys. And there we go. We're starting to break the lows at this point now. We should see clean traffic all the way down to this support area. And there we go. We're starting to push down at this point now. Hopefully this support area will become our pullback area, not a rejection area. Obviously, we do understand that we have buy orders being collected from this area, so this becomes our next rejection area. As soon as we start to violate this area, is going straight to our 1-to-1, right? But we do have clean traffic until this area. Looking to the left as well is a bit of a rangy area. So obviously we do want to see a nice close below this. This area over here is technically a bit tricky to trade, right? This area here. So if we can see a really nice close below this area now, I think our 1-to-1s are definitely getting hit. Most definitely. But at this point now, our positions are in profit, so that's amazing. So now this area obviously is becoming a rejection area because you have a lot of buy orders here. So now the next candle here, you don't want to see a nice engulfing bullish candle here. You want to see a pullback obviously because the buy orders are being executed here. And then obviously you want to see the candle engulf everything to the downside. That's what we are looking to see. And at this point, look at that, it's going back up to collect more sell orders. So hopefully if there are enough sell orders, we can start breaking these lows over here, start violating these previous candle lows. At that point, we're going to close below this area. Then this becomes our next rejection area. But as soon as we clear this, we are really clean traffic straight to our TP. So it should be a decent trade. So two areas that we got to look out for is this next area. If we can start breaking below this area, at that point, I think we're going straight down to our TP. It's going to be really explosive. This is also your new 4-hour open as well. So you guys got to understand it's got a former upper wick as well as a bottom wick. So even if it does want to reject a little bit to the top side, it shouldn't concern us. Oh, there we go. What a beast. Wow. Look at this. Pushing down. Wow, nice. So let's see what happens now. Okay, at this point, again, collecting more buy orders. So if we do see some sort of massive push to the top side, I would not be too concerned because, as I said, it is a 4-hour open. It needs to create that upper wick, right? As long as it doesn't violate these highs over here, I think we should be good to go. So as long as our stop losses are like a couple pips above this, we should be good to go. Man, I think my stop loss is literally really tight. I might want to push it up a little bit more, just to give you a little bit more room to breathe. Okay, I'll look into if price starts to push up a little bit more because, as I said, this is your new 4-hour open as well. It needs to form an upper wick as well as a bottom wick. Look at the previous 4-hour. Look at the rejection from the top side. The rejection was ridiculous, right? So yeah, let's see now if we can start breaking these 4-hour lows again. At that point, we're going to see a really nice drop to our TP if we start breaking these 4-hour lows, honestly. Until then, obviously, it's forming an upper wick. So yeah, let's see what happens. Have to wait and see. At this point, you guys got to understand, we're tapping this area over here. Potentially, can this turn into a rejection area? 1855. Let's see if 1855 holds. At that point, obviously, we do have some sort of orders over here. This is some sort of resistance here. So if you can start rejecting this resistance, start breaking those 4-hour lows, at that point, we're going all the way down. Until then, potentially 4-hour can push up because it's got to form that upper wick, right? And unfortunately, price didn't really push down much before the 4-hour open. So that's why at this point, if we do start to push up all the way to the top side, I might move my stop loss just 5 pips above the structure, just to give you a little bit more room to breathe. Because it is your 4-hour open, it can potentially wake us out, right? Potentially. So I want to be extra careful now. But this should not scare us in any way whatsoever because this is your 4-hour open. The momentum still, like the structure is still to the downside. Everything is still to the downside, but obviously the 4-hour has to form that upper wick. So potentially it will go up to the top side of the range and even potentially break it, and it can go up all the way up there, right? So it becomes a little bit tricky now. So we have to really look to manage risk. But honestly, as soon as you start to break these lows again now, at that point, your upper wick is done. At that point, your upper wick is done. Oh, my brother. What's happening? Oh, my bad. Oh, I don't know what that was. I don't know who that was. But anyway, again, look at this now. Is this the upper wick done? Because we do see momentum kick in from here. So we need to just see. We need to just let it create an upper wick because you got to understand this is your 4-hour on gold. It creates massive upper wicks. So now anytime we see a nice engulfing bearish candle, at that point you're not expecting the highs to be broken, the 4-hour highs. But until then, this just becomes your pullback, your upper wick. We have to just let it go up. And yeah, let's see what happens. Right now, look at that. Even though you have a lot of momentum, price is forming an upper wick, you're not seeing like a massive bullish candle, my bad, not bearish candle. So that's really good. That's really good. One thing I can see happening is us breaking these highs to potentially push up to the next resistance. So as I said, we can potentially get wicked out. So I'll move my stop loss just a little bit above this area, just so I don't get wicked out, because until we actually get a nice close above this, we're technically still in a downtrend, right? But because it is a 4 hour, it can potentially wick us out, so gotta be super careful. But yeah, let's see if we can see some momentum kick into the downside now. As soon as the momentum kicks in, we're going to see a nice engulfing bearish candle honestly start breaking all lows all the way to the downside, giving us our TP. At that point, honestly, I'll look to make this trade. I'll look to take some risk off the table if we can see something like that happening. But let's see. There we go. Seeing some momentum to the downside now. I think as soon as we start to break these candle lows, potentially this candle might become an engulfing bearish candle if we start to break these candle lows. But is there enough selling momentum just yet, or does it want to push up even more? There we go. As soon as the candle opened, you had a lot of selling momentum. There we go. This candle might be it, guys. This might be that rocket ship candle taking us all the way to the downside. This honestly might be it. But let's see though. We have to break the 4 hour lows. At that point, this becomes a really nice trade. As soon as we start to break these 4 hour lows, this becomes a really nice trade. So let's see now if we can start breaking the 4 hour lows. The 4 hour lows are literally all the way here. This is when the 4 hour opened right here. So these are your 4 hour lows right here. So as soon as we start breaking below this now, we're going all the way down to our TP. At that point, this becomes a really high confirmation trade, right? Because this is your upper wick done. But now let's say if we do start breaking above this again, at that point, price is starting to technically form higher highs and higher lows, and 4 hour wants to go up furthermore, right? Logically. So now over here, you want to see these highs being respected as well, right? If we do start breaking this, we're most probably going to come up to the next level, which is all the way up here, and might want to collect more sell orders from there. If not, it's probably going to break this and take us out. But as long as we respect these highs, I think we should be good to go, and they should start really dropping down at this point. So let's see now. Have to wait and see. Have to wait and see what happens. Because you gotta understand, price action does move in wavy structure. It creates highs, lows, highs, lows. So at this point, you wanna see lows, highs, lows, highs, lower lows and lower highs. That's what you wanna see: lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. That's what you wanna see being formed. You wanna see momentum to the downside kick in at this point. So could have like another really nice position below the 4 hour lows, honestly. Ooh, look at this candle. I think we're about to drop down nicely. Really nicely. It's looking really good at this point. Yeah, I'm starting to really like this. Ooh, I'm starting to really like this. Ooh, I'm really liking this, bro. The way this is moving now looks beautiful, man. As soon as we start breaking these lows, we're good to go down. As soon as we start violating these 4 hour lows, honestly. Look at the momentum is all to the downside at this point. Really nice engulfing bearish candles. Really nice. So as long as we respect these highs, I think we should be good to go. Another minute left for the new 5 minute to open as well. So hopefully with the new 5 minute, we can see some more pullbacks to the downside. Another push to the downside. It's really looking nice at this point, but it's just this last bit of area that we have left. As soon as we start breaking below this, start closing below this, I think we're going straight to our TP. At that point, you're violating the 4 hour lows as well. So that'll be a really strong confirmation as soon as we basically close below the 4 hour lows, right? And where are the daily lows, by the way? Because technically we're going to go down to the daily lows, right? So how far is that from here? It's about like 90 pips. So we do have like 90 pips to the downside. It's below the key area. So these are your daily lows as well. So you do have a really nice range on gold. But let's see how it plays out. Now this becomes a rejection area. If we can start breaking below this, at that point, again, probability goes to the downside. Obviously, do you want to have those zones, right? So now at this point, look, we got rejection from here and selling orders kicked in here. So now if you see a nice engulfing bearish candle starting to break these lows, at that point, again, the probability goes on our side, which is the selling side, right? Otherwise, we haven't really violated the structure lows just yet because this is your 4 hour lows. So until we actually break these lows, the confirmations are not there for us to actually like scale in with another position. But again, the probability will be on our side as soon as we start breaking these lows, because at the moment, as I said, price moves in wavy structure is forming highs, lows, highs, lows. So now we want to see lower highs and lower lows and lower highs. At that point, you're like, okay, nice, now we're going all the way to the downside, all the way to the downside. There we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. Can we see a nice push to the downside at this point? Or are we going to see bullish engulfing, bullish candles? What are we going to see? Look, at this point, honestly, if we start breaking these 4-hour highs, because we did form the 4-hour highs, at that point, we're going up, right? So I might look to manage risk above this area here, because we have no business breaking these highs now. We have the upper wick on the 4-hour, unless like price actually wants to go up, right? At that point, it's just going to go up and up and up. But obviously, we do have this area up here where you do see a lot of sell orders being collected. So yeah, until we actually violate this, the buys don't make sense. But now at this point, look, 4-hour created that bottom wick to potentially go up, right? Look at this candle. It was really, really nice engulfing bullish candles. So now we have to look to manage our risk. And yeah, this candle might just stop us out. This might be that rocket ship candle to the top side. Look, the volatility is kicked in now. This candle has engulfed everything to the left, honestly. So yeah, I would not want to hold sells over here now. If we start breaking above this and start closing above this, I'm going to look to take my second trade and take it to the top side. Until then, as I said, until we actually violate these, we are still technically bearish. But now the momentum is to the top side. I'm not going to lie to you guys. This technically becomes your bottom wick, and now you're breaking the upper wick again for the second time. What business does 4-hour have breaking the upper wick again? So if you do close above this, at that point, look, the momentum is to the top side. Is really simple. And then the intraday range becomes a rejection, right? This becomes a rejection from the downside on the intraday time frame. And then potentially gold wants to push up if we start violating this structure highs over here. So yeah. But we'll have to wait for that extra bit of confirmation in order to execute on a buy position though. We'll have to wait for a close above this, some sort of retest, and then after that take it back up. But I think this might just stop us out, honestly. Might just stop us out. I'm going to push it up a little bit more. Just giving it that extra bit of room to breathe. Yeah, that's perfect. 1% risk on this position now. So let's see now. Are we going to collect more sell orders here, retesting this and start dropping? Are we going to start breaking above this to potentially see the buyers working out? As I said, this is the last bit of area we have to watch out for. We can see a lot of sell orders do get collected here. So if we start breaking above this and start closing above this, at that point it's really simple. We're going to go up to the top side of the range, which is all the way there, potentially to form our upper wick on the daily time frame, right? It's really simple. So yeah, let's see now. This is the last bit of area. If we start breaking above this, I'm taking out this sell position. Literally my stop loss is just above there a little bit, giving a little bit more room to breathe, just in case, so I don't get wicked up. But honestly, as soon as now the way price is moving, I'm going to take out this position if we don't start rejecting now. This is the last bit of area. Yeah, I've taken out my position at this point, honestly. Position got taken out. So now look, we have to wait for a nice close above this area. Maybe see a nice retest. I'll look to execute on a buy position to the top side at that point. But let's see if we can see a nice pullback though. And honestly, if the buys do work out, we can... Oh, look at the sellers just kicking now after wicking us out, bro. See, that's the thing, is the wicks. The wicks are crazy, man. The wicks are crazy. Gives us a good stop loss though if it starts breaking these structure highs over here to potentially push up to the top side, and the momentum is there as well if we start breaking these highs with momentum now. Honestly, this is your 15-minute open as well, right? So I had to quickly form an upper wick. It needs to come down, form the bottom wick. At that point, as soon as it starts breaking those highs, I think we're going up. Yeah, the way it's moving, but I want to see it come down a little bit more. Second retest. At that point, start breaking those highs. I think we can push up now to the top side. It's really simple at this point, right? Look at the way we're closing as well. Let's see what happens. So we had one obviously got stopped out on the first trade, guys. I will be executing on another trade, but I have to wait for the confirmations. Right now, look, you're above the range now at this point. All-time highs have been formed up here. This is where you got a rejection from. So now if you start breaking this with momentum, at that point, obviously you can take it up, right? Keeping, where does our stop loss go though? It needs to go below the wick, right? So let's see what happens. You have really nice clean candles as well to the left as soon as you start breaking these highs. Really nice clean candles to the left, honestly. Really, really nice candles. Looking at the 15-minute though, there is no bump wick. That's the only issue I have. If we can form that bump wick, do like a second retest, giving us like a bear entry as well, right? At that point, I think it must be good to go up. But again, there is volatility in the market, so definitely, if I do see an engulfing bullish candle here, I'm looking to take it back up. This will be my second last trade, and this trade I'll most probably hold it for 1 to 2, kind of just to get back in profits and recover that loss as well. And it'll be a really easy target, the 1 to 2. Really, really easy target. Just like 60-70 pips, we can easily see that happening on gold. Stop loss will be obviously below the wick. Let me show you guys where I'll put my stop loss. It will be below this wick here. Right. So as you position up here, once we start retesting this, stop loss below this wick, and hold this for 1 to 2. That's what I'm looking to do at this point. 1 to 2 is literally up here. It's only about 30 pips. We can very easily see that happening. Really, really easily see that happening for sure. But again, have to wait for that pullback because the 15-minute does not have the bottom wick, right? So want to be extra bit careful. But buys do look good now at this point. So let's see if this 15-minute can start forming that bottom wick. At that point, as soon as we start breaking the previous 15-minute highs, at that point we're going all the way to the top side. Can this 15-minute form a bottom wick? I think we do have a bottom wick now at this point. Come down a little bit, start rejecting and start breaking those highs. I'm taking this position. At this point, look, again, playing the game of probability. What business did Forex actually have like breaking its own highs again for the second time, right? So now again, if it breaks its own highs again now after forming that bottom wick in the 15-minute, everything is just lining to the bias. Looking at the daily candle as well, you have a really, really massive rejection from this downside. So we are intraday traders. So yeah, even though the sales were looking good on weekly, I'm still gonna keep the daily time frame in my mind. So I'm gonna look to execute on a buy position over here now. NYSE is approaching in the next couple minutes as well, 11 minutes. So this buy position can really work out. But I'm gonna be holding it for 1 to 2 risk to reward. So I'm not gonna secure the TP at 1 to 1 because the first trade was a loser. So if this can go to 1 to 2, I'll end up in profits, and the range can allow me to get that 1 to 2 as well. Because my stop loss is like literally really, really small. It's like, yeah, really small. I want to see a nice close above this area though. At that point, I'm taking this. Like engulfing bullish candle at this point, just exploding out of this area. That's what I want to see. So as soon as we start breaking above this, I'm taking a position. Obviously, realistically, my position is going to end up being up there, right? It's going to be a dynamic risk. No, not a dynamic risk position, but it's going to be an impulsive entry. But it makes sense, right? Until then, I'm just going to let it come down, do its thing. But sales become really tricky now because we broke out of the range. We did give it a chance for the sales to play out, but technically we are still in a downtrend, right? Look, the first actual leg actually started from there, right? And then we were within this range, and then kind of like breaking out of this range, we grabbed a lot of liquidity. And so now, even if there is momentum to the downside again, technically we can start to push down. But if we start breaking these highs now, at that point we're coming all the way to the top side of the range really easily, really, really easily. So sells and buys both can play out from this point, but buys right now are making way more sense. Oh man, let me execute on a position here. I don't think I'll be able to execute on a position here. .9. Yeah, Yeah, guys, I think my position is about to be missed due to magic keys once again. It's a really nice position here, man. Okay, so I'm looking to execute a position here. Hopefully, let's see if I can get a position here soon. So I want to see these bottom wick and then highs being broken. Stop loss again goes below the wick. Stop loss is not going to be really tiny. Going to keep it a little bit bigger. So something like this. Let's see if it plays out. NYSE approaching in the next 8 minutes as well. So hopefully with the NYSE we can get a push. Man, GJ was ranging yesterday and gold is ranging today. I just want to see a nice engulfing candle here so I can take a position. Because the thing is, I don't want to take a position just on the break. I want to see at least a close. Even the break makes sense though. So don't get me wrong. But now, obviously, because the entry is missed, I can't take a position on the break. I need to wait for the close. Before the break did make sense, but now, because of magic keys, I need to wait for the close. So I'll wait for the extra bit of confirmation, most definitely. Let's see how this candle closes at this point. If it seems like a rocket ship candle, I'm going to look to execute. And hopefully with NYSE, we can start chilling up here. NYSE can come down, retest, and potentially take us all the way up to our TP, which should be 1860. 1860 should be our TP. Really nice close. Drop with a little bit of rejection. This one's staying up here. Starting to look good. But I really do want to see if we can start breaking these highs again, start forming. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to open up position today. Man, magic keys are actually... I'll lower down the risk a little bit, I guess. Day 3 10. Okay, let's see if my magic keys works now, if it turns on. Okay, now it's turning on properly. Hopefully now I'll be able to execute as soon as my position shows up. Cool. Can this work out? Let's see. Can this work out? Please mention your stop loss. So my stop loss is going to be below this wick here. As soon as I enter this position. Right now I'm not in this position, but stop loss is going to be below this wick. Right now I'm not in any positions. I'm looking to execute on something like this, but obviously price needs to start respecting this area here now, where we got a really nice push up from, and start pushing up. Otherwise, again, we do understand that this might just be that liquidity grab to stop up all of us, potentially, like, you know, because we are still in a downtrend. So I'll look to even take on a sell position just yet, but let's see. If we see a nice engulfing bullish candle now, honestly, I'm going to put the stop loss below the engulfing bullish candle and just let it ride all the way to the top side. If this candle starts to engulf everything to the left, honestly. I want to see a close as well. I'm not executing on a position unless I see the candle close, because it might seem like it's about to break the highs, but as soon as it is just going to come straight back down. This candle, like, it looks really nice right now. Can't lie to you, but we have to wait for it to close. Let's see how this one closes. I'm going to put the stop loss below this and take this position to the top side. I have to wait for this to close though, and see how the next one opens as well. Nice close, really nice close. Oh man, my position is just not opening at this point. I don't know what Magic Keys is doing. Oh, I messed up my position, guys. Magic Keys is not letting me open up a position. I don't know why. I really missed out on this position. Winning trade, I missed out on. This was a really nice entry. Really, really nice entry. Oh, man. Let's see now if this candle can close above the range. At that point, I'll execute. Over here now. All right. Let's see now. There we go. This looks good. I'm in this position. I'm looking to hold this now for a little bit, honestly. I'm just going to hold it now for a little bit. Because I missed out on so many entries. So many entries because of Magic Keys. Entries were all the way down there, my entries. Would have been a really nice trade. So yeah, let's see if we can hold at least for 18.62. Should be good. And obviously stop loss goes below this area here, so as long as we respect that, we should be good to go. Stop loss is about, yeah, I'll potentially scale in now if we see more momentum kick into the top side, and I'm looking to hold this trade for a little bit at least to 18.62, because I can see 18.62 being tapped. Yeah, 18.62 looks really good. So maybe can scale in as soon as we start forming higher highs, higher lows. But I want to see a low being formed, us breaking out of this range, which we did. Retest, start breaking these highs again. Looks good. Looks good. As soon as we start breaking these highs, I think we should be good to go up. But we need to break these highs again, and then this becomes the position. I'm going to execute to the top side. Magic Keys up and good to go. Stop loss over here, taking this all the way up. Let's see how it plays out. So now we want to see these highs start to break. At that point, we should be good to go up. But let's see what happens now. As soon as we start breaking these highs, we've got a really nice clean candle all the way up to this area. Obviously, we do understand a lot of sellers are sitting up here, so we want to be super careful here. And once we do start to clear this, at that point, nothing is stopping us from forming that upper wick all the way to the top side, right? Nothing is stopping us whatsoever. And like all highs are all the way top there, so all the way to the top side. These are your all-time highs for the daily candle. Look at that, right? So if we do start to break above, at that point, obviously the next level is literally all the way there, which is your previous daily wick on the top side. So let's see what happens, because this is our session now. So another minute we're going to see NYSE kick in. Potentially we can see a nice push down to the downside, and then at that point obviously start pushing up to the top side. But again, guys, I missed a winning trade right here. This was my winning trade. I was going to put stop loss below this. This would have been my 1-to-1 being hit right here. Again, missed out on a winning trade because of Magic Keys, but it is what it is. Let's just see what we can execute on now. Hopefully with the NYSE, if we start breaking those highs, we can really start taking this up. NYSE, we're going to see a lot of momentum kick in, obviously, either to the top side or the downside. So let's see. Because look, you understand, right? You are still in a downtrend at the moment. You are still forming lower lows and lower highs. So potentially from here, you can start pushing down as well. But again, you want to see this area here being respected. If you start breaking below this, at that point, I'm not looking to take a buy position. If you start closing below this, your sells are going to start playing out. That's the thing. But on the break of these highs, we're pushing all the way up because this is your NYSE open as well. I'm going to look to take a position right now. All right, there we go, guys. If we start breaking to the top side now, I'm taking this position to the top side at this point. Something like this. But I want to see how this one closes. Let's quickly look at the 30 minutes now. You have the upper wick. So, okay, as soon as it breaks this upper wick, I'm in this buy position. But it needs to break this upper wick, though, with momentum. And I'm holding this. Okay, I'm in this trade now, guys. I'm in this trade. I'm in a trade at this point now. Stop loss below this. Let me show you guys the trade. Right here, stop loss below the lows, waiting for the NYSE. Now you want to expect the momentum to take it all the way back up. If it starts breaking these lows, I'm going to call it a day, honestly. if it starts breaking these lows, because now you want the momentum to push price all the way to the top side. You don't want to see price coming down. If it starts coming down again, then gold is just ranging. We're coming back into the range. I'm not going to trade the range, but this is a dynamic risk position I have here. I'm going to take this one now. If this one starts breaking the lows, and stop loss is all the way below the wick, the 30-minute lows, it should not break the 30-minute lows. It should push all the way up. I'm going to hold this. My entry is actually all the way here. Literally as soon as we started to break the 30-minute highs, my entries are there, and I'm holding this for a little bit, at least all the way up to 1862. So let me show you guys the trade. So the entry is actually right here. Now I'm holding this for at least a little bit, at least like 62. I'm gonna hold this for. So this should be the trade we have been waiting for, and hopefully if we start breaking above this, could take another nice entry as well. But yeah, let's see how this plays out though. Really tight stop loss, you guys can see, only about 14 pips stop loss. And so let's see how this plays out. At this point now with NYSE, you don't want to see any more momentum to the downside. We should see a nice push up. And also we were trying to take another position on the top here. So there we go, all the way to the top side. This is pushing up 12 pips now. Yeah, I'm going to hold this position, by the way, as I said. This is gonna be a good position. I'm holding it at least up to this level. As soon as we start clearing this area here, I think we should be good to go. This is the only area that we have, only area that we can get pullback from, this area. So as soon as we close above this area, we're going all the way to the top side. I'm going to add another position above this area. Until then, I'm just holding this position. So my 1-to-1 would have been hit by now anyway, because look at that, right? My stop loss is about 14 pips and I'm up 15 pips right now. So the 1-to-1 would have been hit. So at this point now, again, we have this area that we are approaching. A lot of selling momentum can kick in here, so I want to see us clearing this area. As soon as we clear this, grab more momentum to the top side. We're pushing all the way to the top side, and yeah, let's see how this plays out. Let's see how this plays out. Might even hold this for 100 pips today. So let's see, if we start clearing this area, start seeing more momentum to the top side, I might look to execute on another position above here, if we see a massive push up here. But let's see though, want to be careful around this area. Want to be super careful. So I'll go 6.27 lots running on this, by the way. 20 pips up at this point, 20 pips up. Stop loss just below these lows, 14 pips. Stop loss up 20 pips at this point now. So yeah, let's see how this plays out. This is where you have a lot of selling momentum kick in. At this point, I think if we start breaking these highs, we should be good to go up as soon as we start breaking these highs at this point, honestly. Because this is where you're going to see selling momentum kick in from. A lot of sellers are obviously sitting up here. So if you see buyers taking control from here, start breaking to the top side. At that point, we're going up. And this is your NYSE open. We're breaking out of the range. A lot of liquidity in the market. We're going to see a really nice push up now. Really nice push up now. I might even take another position here, honestly. If we can start closing above this and start turning this into a support area. So I want to see a nice push to the top side, and then at that point I want to see price turn this area into support. So let me show you guys on trading view how I'm going to scale in on this. So now I want to see these lows being respected. I want to see this area over here being respected as well, turning this into support. At that point I look to scale in. Otherwise no scale ins. I want to scale in above here. This is my area where I would like to scale in. So I want to see this area being turned into a support area, because a lot of sellers are sitting up here. So as soon as we start turning this into a support area, start breaking to the top side, at this point, look, this is where you saw sellers actually attempt to take price down. So now if you start breaking to the top side again, at that point, this could be a good scale in position. Stops below this, kind of like keeping first trade becomes risk free, and then your stop loss goes below this for the second entry. I might look to do that. Let's see. I want to see momentum kick in first though. And I'm going to make the first trade risk-free at this point, by the way. So stop loss will go at entry as soon as we start breaking these highs. Because we have a lot of sellers sitting up here. So I really do not want to fight against this. But as soon as we start breaking to the top side, I'm going to scale in with another position. I'm going to add to my winning trade. Because a lot of us add to our losing trades. We need to start adding to our winners as well. When you have a winning trade, add to it. Why not? I like this now, the way this is moving as soon as it starts breaking to the top side. Yeah, I like this, honestly. If we can get a nice close above this, I'll look to add in a position and make the first one risk-free, by the way. But I want to see a close above this area, a nice close above this area. Otherwise, they might just collect more sell orders and start dropping. But as soon as we close above this, I'm taking another position to the top side. But closes are really important. So close above this, where we got selling momentum kicking from. So let's see now what happens. If we start breaking above, we should be good. So let's see if we can start breaking above this. So my first position is risk-free at this point. So I have a risk-free trade running. The first position is risk-free. Second position, I'm going to look to scale in soon. Have to wait though, have to wait. First position is up 15 pips right now. 16 pips up. As soon as we see a nice close above this, I'm going to use this as a stop loss and add another position. Now the first trade is risk-free. But if I do get stopped out on my first trade, I'm not going to add that second position. So in order for me to actually add a second position, I need to obviously have the first trade, right? At that point, I can balance my risk to reward, basically. Because this is where you have a lot of sellers sitting. And yeah, let's see what happens. Guys, I think it might be wicking me out on my first trade. I might be getting wicked out soon. Because we have a lot of sellers sitting up here. So honestly, if I get wicked out, it is what it is. Can't do nothing about it. But I really want to see this area being respected. Otherwise, we're going to go back into the range. And it just doesn't make sense to hold this trade, right? If I do get wicked out on this trade, I'm going to call it a day. I'll show you guys what I'm looking for. Let me show you guys my MetaTrader 5. So you guys can see the first entry. The stop loss is at entry now. So if I do get wicked out on this, I'm going to call it a day. Because at that point, I'm not going to look to scale in. That's just how I trade. So if this gets respected, obviously my stop loss was below this, right? So as long as those lows get respected, that was like my stop loss below this. But obviously this was my entry, so I made it break even. So if I get wicked out, I'm not going to look to take a trade up here. I'm about to get wicked out. So I've been wicked out on my trade, unfortunately. It is what it is. Didn't secure any profits because I was looking to hold this, but it is what it is. It's part of the game. Honestly, could take now another position where it has to be down here, not up there. For me to take a position, it needs to come down here. I want to see a nice engulfing bullish candle giving me an entry all the way from down here. But if you start to break below this, at that point, guess what? We're coming back into the range. And do you really want to trade the range again? But yeah, this was a break-even trade. Didn't lose any money on this. We were up about how much were we up? I was up around 20 plus pips on a 6 lot, so not bad at all actually. Probably about $1,400 or something. But look at this now, it's coming back into the range. It's being really rangy right now. So you wanted to respect these lows, but if it starts breaking below these lows, at that point you're like, nah, this is it. I'm calling it a day. Because it's just going to come back into this massive range that you have. And yeah, it becomes really tricky to trade this. First trade got stopped out, second one break even now. So yeah, honestly, not going to look to take anything else. I do still have some risk left. So if I see a nice engulfing bullish candle here, I'll take a position. Otherwise, I'm going to call it a day now, honestly. Just going to... close this crap, man. Open calc. Alright, I'm gonna just close this now. Okay, so now what do we need to do? We need to see if this turns into double bottom. I might be looking to execute my last trade. I'm gonna hold this again for a good risk to reward, this time getting a better entry if I see a nice close now. But again, I'm going to make a risk-free real soon, as soon as we start tapping the top. And this will be my last trade now, guys. If it works out, lovely. Otherwise, I'm going to call it a day. Because it came down now, did a retracement. It has no business breaking these lows, right? So there we go. I like this now. Honestly, I like this as soon as we start breaking these highs over here. Let's see another nice push to the top side. because you have sellers sitting up here. So if you can start breaking above this, at that point obviously you're going to the top side of the range, and then most likely breaking the range and going all the way up to the daily highs. So let's see now. Come on, let's see this nice push to the top side, give us this nice entry. But if you do want to trade the way I'm trading, I'm going to make my trades risk-free and look to scale in. Risk-free, scale in, risk-free, scale in, risk-free, scale in. I'm not going to have risk on the table. Every trade is going to be risk-free, scale in, risk-free, scale in, risk-free, scale in. So now you want to see these highs get broken over here. At that point, it looks like we're going all the way to the top side again. Otherwise, this becomes a retest to start breaking the lows. But this is a double bottom formation. That's really strong, this formation. Really, really strong formation. Can we start closing above this? Let's see. At that point, price is no business rejecting from here. We're going to form a new high because look, our stop loss was going to be below this anyway, right? So this would have still been an active trade. But again, due to risk management, I had to make it risk-free. So now then I got tapped out because I didn't want my stop loss being here. It would have been in profits now back again. But that's the thing now. So this just becomes your double top. We didn't violate the lows. And if you see more momentum to the top side, at that point, you're like, okay, I'm taking this back up, giving this a second try, because it's the same trade idea, not a different trade idea. But you didn't lose any money on this. You still have some risk left for the day, and you're like, okay, I'm going to give this a second try now. If this works out, lovely. Otherwise, I'm going to call it a day and be disciplined. But again, you're going in with like low risk, 0.5%, not even 1% on a trade like this. So let's see if we can start breaking above this now. Nice break to the top side. Can we? Okay, I might look to scale in soon over here, honestly. If we can start closing above this. If I see a close above this, I'm going to scale in. I'm going to scale in if I see a close above this area. At that point, we're going to blast to the top side. I want to see us break above this area. A nice break and close above this area. At that point, I'm going to scale in with the position. And let's see if we can hold it for a little bit. Potentially at least like 62. 62 will be nice. Magic keys are ready, good to go. As soon as you turn this area into your support area, we're going all the way to the top side. Until then, it's tricky. So below this area is just sells. Above this, buys make sense. We're going to break out of the range, go all the way to the top side again. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Look at your daily candle as well, just rejecting, man, from the downside. But yeah, daily candle rejecting now massively. It's potentially going to come up to the top side at least. Has to, right? 50 pips. Can easily capitalize these 50 pips if the buyers can play out from here. We do have a key area over here as well on gold. So if we keep turning this area into support, see some more momentum kick into the top side, we can take it up. But it's during this 15 minute, after this 15 minute, you see momentum kicking in. So let's see now. We should see momentum kicking in the next 15 minutes now. And if you can start breaking out of this range before the new 1 hour opens, at that point, I'll be happy. Otherwise, I'm going to call it a day because my session ends in next 15 minutes. So if you can break out of this range now before the next 15 minutes, then I'll look to execute. Otherwise, I'm going to call it a day. I'm not looking to trade after the next 15-minute open. I'll accept the last trade, which was a break-even trade. Didn't secure any profits because it was a low risk position. I was aiming for 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4. There we go. This is nice, guys. I like this. I really like this at this point. If you can close above this, I really, really do like this, honestly. Let's see how this closes. I want to wait for this to close this 1 minute. I want it to close above this, not just break. I want it to close above. Close above. Next one breaks the highs. I'm all in. But it needs to close above. Nice engulfing close. At that point, look, if you start breaking to the top side again, it's just you're collecting them buy orders to go all the way to the top side of the range. And I like it. If you start breaking these highs again, there we go. Next candle opens, more buy orders are being collected. And if you start breaking these highs, I'm going to execute. Otherwise, no. Here, you can see a lot of selling orders being executed as well. So this can just be a retest. But now, if it goes down to retest the support area, start breaking those highs, I'm going to execute on a buy position. Let's see, though. Let's see. Just a buy position here. Stop loss obviously below this. Let's see. Are we gonna break out of it? Oh no, I couldn't execute, guys. It is what it is. I have one tiny position, but it's not letting me execute. It is what it is. Because I want to get another position up here. If we can, yeah, I might just let this one play out. It is what it is. Let's see if we can start breaking above this. Might be able to get in. Might be able to get in. Magic keys, open. Okay, hopefully it works now. Start breaking to the top side, and I'm holding this bad boy. Can we get in? Come on, let's see momentum. I want to see momentum kick in. See these candles, they're retesting the top side, but the momentum is just not there. I want to see momentum like explode out of this. Otherwise, you're going to see momentum kick in and gold is going to start dropping. So I want to see a nice engulfing bullish candle, just kind of like breaking out of all highs, just breaking out of this range. Otherwise, you're just going to start ranging, and it becomes tricky to trade a range. So I want to see momentum kick in. And I'm going to give this a last try. But if the momentum doesn't kick in now, at that point, I'm going to call it a day. This is when you should start breaking out with explosiveness. This is the new 15-minute open. This is when you should see a lot of momentum kick in. A lot of momentum. You have the bottom wick as well. So you want to see this next candle just break out of everything. And at that point, we're going all the way to the top side, right? But if you see momentum kick into the downside, now we're coming all the way back down to the range, and I'm not trading that. So the only thing I'm interested in is a buy position here to the top side. That's what I'm interested in. See, as soon as we start turning this into a support area, we're going all the way up to this area. So we're going to see a really, really nice 50 pips move at least 50 pips to the top side. If we can start holding this area, honestly, even look at your 15-minute. Every time you get pushed from here is a really, really nice push, and this is where we're rejecting from as well. So this is your new 15-minute. It needs to do something, right? Otherwise, because my session ends as well, so I want this 15-minute to really start pushing up to the top side. Start breaking out of this resistance, go all the way to the top side at this point. There we go. And I'm going to look to take a tiny position here. Explosive candle. There we go. Alright, guys. Let's see what we can do now. I'm going to hold this position. I have a position here running. So let's see. I'm going to hold this all the way up to 1863. Stop loss is below the structure lows. Below the structure lows. So not below the 15-minute lows, below the 1-minute structure lows. Let me show you the 1-minute structure lows. They are right there giving my trade a second try. We're rejecting off of a key area again. This is where you want to see momentum kick in. Momentum kick in. And I'm holding this. Holding this. Holding this. I'm not making it break even unless we start breaking out of this. I actually got a little bit of a nice entry, to be honest. Got really nice entry. It's a little bit below this. It's a little bit below down there somewhere. I'm focusing on MetaTrader 5. So something like this, it should give me at least 50-60 pips to the top side if it works out. But let's see. Last trade of the day. I'm holding this now. This is the last trade of the day. This magic keys broke. I don't know what happened, man. Last trade of the day. I'm up a little bit now. Really nice trade. There we go. This is what we like to see. And you don't want to see momentum to the downside kick in at this point, because look at all these rejections right here. So if you can really start turning this into support and we see a nice engulfing bullish candle, we're going to break out of this. That's going to be the next area we're going to break out of. At that point, we're going all the way to the top side. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful trade. There we go. Finally starting to play out, right? And this time I'm holding. Oh, gosh. Let me show you guys the MetaTrader 5. So this is the entry all the way here. Got early entry actually. But wanted to give you guys the extra bit of confirmation so you guys don't copy me. But yeah, I'm up 14 pips right now. I'm going to be holding this for at least like, yeah, 60 pips. 60 pips at least. So let's see how this plays out now. If you can see those 50-60 pips, it'll be nice. Second trade. But if this doesn't work out now, I'm going to call it a day, honestly. If this stops me out, I'm going to call it a day. But as soon as we start breaking above this, start closing above this, I'll make it risk-free. Until then, my stop loss is open, which is below the structure. Look at this double bottom formation as well. At this point, you don't want to see massive engulfing bearish candles. You want to see momentum to the top side. Right now, look at all of these candles. They're really, really tiny. So if you see a massive bearish candle just starting to break these lows, I'm going to call it a day. It's going to come back into the range. At this point, it needs to start breaking to the top side. And I think we will see a lot of momentum kick in real soon. Real soon. I think it's just loading, honestly, because we've been ranging the whole time. Again, we're catching the downside of the range, so we should be good. Should be good. It's a good entry, up 15 pips again. And soon I'll make it risk-free, because as I said, if I want to scale in above this, I need to make this trade risk-free. So we need to break above this and start turning this into support. At that point, I can make this risk-free and scale in with another position. Until then, I just need to hold this position. That's how it works. So let's see. Because this kind of becomes your liquidity area over here as well on the 1 minute. So from here, you can see a lot of sell orders being executed. But as soon as we start to break this, again, as I said, the liquidity area, you're going to stop a lot of sellers out. You're going to collect buy orders, and it's going to be very explosive to the top side. Until then, I think we're just going to see ranginess, maybe bearish candles, bullish candles. But as soon as we break to the top side, break this range, we're going to see really, really nice push to the top side. So I'm up about 16 pips again on this trade. Same trade idea, same lot size, consistency. It's just that this time I've gone in and given my trade a second chance, because the first one stopped me out at break even. And so I'm going to hold this now again. And if it works out, it works out. My stop loss is about 16 pips. So again, my 1-to-1 has been hit. So if I was securing 1-to-1, this would have been a second winning trade in a row. But as I said, I'm trying to hold it for at least like big risk to reward. So yeah, it doesn't concern me. I can see gold pushing up and I'm holding it, honestly. And we've got another 8 minutes left as well for the new hour to open. If you can start breaking above this, grab this liquidity, a lot of buy orders can kick in. The new hourly can kind of like form a bottom wick here. And then after that, I can execute another position and scale in. Because this is a Friday now, we don't want to take too much risk. But that's why I'm going in with a tiny position. You guys can see it's only 6 lots. It's only 6 lots. We're up 20 pips once again. Same trade idea, but just scaled in again and got better position this time as well. So yeah, let's see what happens now. This area, as soon as we start breaking out of this area, I think we're going to see something really, really explosive. Really, really explosive, I think. Really explosive. Let's see the daily time frame. If you go to the time frames, if we quickly go to the daily time frame, there we go. Look at the daily about to just like push to the top side. So the daily highs are actually all the way up here. Let me just zoom in. Look at the daily highs, they're literally all the way up here. If I can just put a line up here, the daily highs are literally all the way up here. Look at that, that's your daily highs, literally all the way up here. So as soon as my TP gets hit, that's when you're going to start breaking the daily highs. So yeah, I like it. I like this trade, at least up to the daily highs. And then after daily highs, I'm done. I'm calling it a day. It's a Friday. Let's go back to the 1 minute time frame. Are we going to start breaking out of this? What are we going to do? At this point, look, again, as soon as we start breaking out of this, I'm going to make it risk-free. But because a lot of sellers are sitting up here, you can start seeing a lot of momentum kick into the downside. But it should not worry us, because we are still forming higher highs and higher lows. So as soon as we break out of this, I think we're going to see something really explosive. 23 pips up. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. There we go. Are we going to see a break to the top side? If we see a break to the top side, I'll make this risk-free. But I want to see this break, a nice engulfing bullish candle. Oh, my camera is frozen. Ah, okay. Thank you. Let's go into properties. That looked funny, I can't even lie. But yeah, camera is back and there we go. Again, guys, look at this, up about 23, 24 pips now. If we start breaking to the top side, this is the range I want to see break. I think we're going to see a really, really nice push. Really, really nice push. And I'm going to take this trade out just before the daily highs get tapped. So it's like 58 pips. So there we go. Are we going to see a nice push now to the top side? There we go, 26 pips up. Nice, 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 nice. Really nice, really nice. Let's see if we can start breaking above this, start closing above this. At that point, I might look to scale in soon. So now this becomes your pullback candle, kind of like selling orders are being executed here. So if this does not break below these lows, I think we should be good to go. And honestly, I'm going to make a risk-free, guys, the trade again. Stop loss at entry. So it's a risk-free trade. So I'll look to scale in soon. If I do see some more confirmations, it's a risk-free trade. Did you secure something? No, I did not secure something. I'm looking to hold this. It's not 1-to-1. My 1-to-1 would have been hit long time ago. I'm not securing something. If we start breaking above this, we should be good to go. That's a really nice confirmation to hold this trade. So yeah, I'm going to let this play out. because the daily has literally done nothing so far. So we're gonna see a really nice push, really nice push. Hopefully in the next 5 minutes, because this is the new 5 minute open. Is creating the bottom wick. As soon as it starts breaking to the top side, we're gonna go up. Actually, I did take some risk of the some profits of the table just here, just so I can scale in and use the same. So the profits that I've taken off, I can use them to kind of like scale in, if that makes sense, right? So that's why I just took some profits off here. But yeah, let's see how this plays out. 23 pips up, and yeah, I'm gonna let this run all the way to the top side now. If we start breaking above this, I'm gonna put stop loss below that with the new with the new hourly open, and I'm gonna let it run all the way to the top side. So yeah, guys, I did take some profits off here, just close 50% here, just so I can secure some profits, and then I can use the same profits to take another position. So this position, I'm holding this at least all the way up to the daily highs, which is around 50 pips now. Is going to give me 1.7k after securing the 50% of the profits. I do want to scale in with another position though, but I need the next 4 minutes. I need to wait for the next 4 minutes because we want to see this area break. If this area doesn't break, it doesn't make sense to scale in, because a lot of sellers are sitting up here. They can very easily drive the price down with a new 1 hour open, because with the new 1 hour open, if this area meets with the new 1 hour open, it's got to create the bottom wick. Selling orders are here. We can really take price down, so we can get a better position from down there for me to scale in. So our position from up here, unless we break out of it, doesn't make sense. So let's wait for the next 3 minutes. Let's wait for the next 3 minutes. But yeah, I have secured 50% down here. So that's like my 1-to-1 was, I think, all the way down here, right? So secured 50%, like just all the way down here, 20 pips. And so it's a risk-free trade again. You guys can see profits right there, everything. I might look to scale in with another position, risking the same amount of profits that I just secured on this position. So I'm just going to lower down my risk quickly. If you guys just give me a second. But yeah, let's see what the next 3 minutes do. But look at this trade though. What beauty. Risk-free at this point, guys. Risk-free. The position is like literally down here. Very nice trade. So if you guys took this trade, make sure you drop a like on the YouTube live stream. But I'm holding this at least up to that level. Have to. It's going to go up. It's a Friday. It needs to do something, right? Look at the daily. The daily's done nothing so far. I think we're really going to break out of this. Because look, we tried, and now again we're trying. Why are we trying for the third time? Clearly there is a reason, right? We need to break to the top side. The daily is rejecting off of a really key area as well, really strong key area. And we are quite bullish on gold as well. We're in an uptrend, so I don't want to fight against the trend. Let's take it up. Why not? At least up to daily highs, actually. Yeah, daily highs are right there, so that's going to be our TP1, right? Okay, now look, we're starting to break to the top side of the range. Really nice. Let's see if we can start clearing this. And with the new 1 hour approaching, kind of like create the bottom wick. Let's look at the new 1 hour. Where can we take it up from? We're tapping this resistance on the hourly as well, so we got to keep that in our mind. This resistance on the hourly, we are approaching it. So we definitely want to keep that in our mind. Obviously, I'll make it red. But guys, this should be a winning trade for everyone. Your profits should be secured. Your stop loss should be at break even. Now we're just looking to see how we can manage the position. But this should be a winning trade for you. This should be a second winning trade for you, actually. Second trade in a row. The first one, unfortunately, I didn't secure anything. I should have actually secured something at 1-to-1 and then let the rest run. But again, it was a risk-free trade. I didn't lose any money, so it's no biggie, right? And at this point, I've secured some profits here. So let's see what happens. We've got another 1 minute left. Let's go to the 1 hour. Where can we start pushing up from? Where can we start pushing up from? There we go. Ooh, this is pushing straight up. Ooh, guys, this is pushing straight up. The 1 hour. It needs to create the bottom wick first and then start pushing up. Do you have the bottom wick on the 1 hour now? Oh, this is pushing straight up, guys. Straight up. Look at this 1 hour. Pushing straight up. What a beast. Oh, wow. Look at this beast. If we start breaking above this 1 hour resistance, at that point, you're going to see so much liquidity being executed, so many buy orders being executed. So I'm going to use this 1 hour lows as a stop loss and take another position here. If we start breaking above that 1 hour resistance, honestly, like take another position here, whole day up to Can I get the 1-to-1 though with this? Yeah, technically I can get the 1-to-1, right? Actually, a little bit better than 1-to-1. If we can start breaking above this 1 hour resistance and start forming a support up here, I'm taking this all the way to the top side, keeping my stop loss below this hourly, because look at this, it's gonna be a rocket ship. I'm up like 26 pips right now. Ooh, this is pushing, guys. Ooh, look at this now, pushing. Wow, let me just go to the, see, I told you guys it's gonna push straight up. So let's go back to the time frames. Let's see, the 1 hour resistance is just here. Let's quickly just mark the 1 hour resistance. This is where you have a lot of, ooh, look at this, it's broken out of the 1 hour resistance, guys. Wow, look at this beast. 37 pips up. Wow, look at this, it's gonna go straight, ooh, 40 pips up. It's gonna go straight past my TP at this point, guys. It's gonna go straight past my TP at this point now. Make sure you guys drop a like on the YouTube live stream. Wow, look at this beast. Wow, look at that 1 hour resistance being broken. At this point, you're going to see so much liquidity being grabbed. This is going to fly straight to our TP. Wow. Look at this. This is your 1 hour resistance at this point now, right? If we start breaking to the top side, buy orders get executed, you're going to see this fly straight to the TP. But obviously, I can't execute on another position. I didn't get that pullback, but my TP is going to get smoked right here, though. The TP is literally here. Oh, wow. Look at this. 40 pips, guys. Amazing. Amazing. This is the TP. Is about to hit the TP, guys. Wow, look at this beast, guys. Look at this beast, man. Straight to the TP. The daily highs are about to get hit right there. The daily highs are about to get hit. Wow, guys, drop a W in the YouTube live stream and drop a like as well. Look at this trade. Wow, 40 plus pips. Told you guys, we're going to see a nice push up as soon as we start breaking above the hourly resistance. We've got such a nice entry. The hourly just opened and exploded all the way to the top side. It seems like I have a tiny bit of a wick on the MetaTrader 5, but on my trading view, unfortunately, there was no wicks. But this one, look at this, guys. What a beautiful trade, right? On a Friday, look at this. Just wow. Really beautiful. Oh, hold on a second. So there we go. The TP is actually all over there, and that's the TP about to get hit. And Garcia, you in this, my brother? 58 pips TP.
Yeah, brother.
To the
I'm
daily
up
highs.
30 pips
Nice.
right now.
Nice. That's the daily highs about to get tapped. At this point, look, honestly, it should be good to go, man. Should be good to go. I'm gonna hold this. Still gonna hold this. Looks really good so far. I'm gonna hold this. If we start turning this into a support area, start breaking those highs, we're going all the way to the top side. Because look, this is like the resistance area that you have on the hourly, right? You have a lot of liquidity in the market. You stopped out a lot of sellers now. The only thing I'm thinking is that it might want to form that bottom wick on the hourly and then start pushing back up. That would be good for us as well, because it will give us that, obviously, what's it called, the nice entry from down there, a chance to scale in. Because we violated the structure highs now. Look at that on the hourly. This is a lot of liquidity in the market. So if it pushes up now, this candle is going to be a beast, because we didn't see gold do anything today so far. So my TP might just get hit right here, and we might go straight to the top side. And I think, guys, this is coming now. The TP is coming at this point, honestly. Let's fly gold. Yes, sir. Told you gold's going to fly, and it's flying now. Ooh, look at this, guys. This is going to fly, honestly, all the way to the top side. It's going to fly all the way to the daily highs. And at the daily highs, I'm taking this position now. And I'm going to call it a day. It's a Friday. I'm more than happy with this position as soon as my TP gets hit. Just wow, look at this beautiful entry though. Wow, very nice. Time frames. Look at this beast. Wow. Just look at this beast, man. Such a nice entry. Wow. As soon as we start breaking above this, we're pushing all the way to the top side. Let's go back to the hourly time frame again. Yeah, this hourly is gonna explode, man. 45 pips up right now. I'm taking all profits now. Yeah. It makes a lot of sense to take profits now. Honestly, it does. It does. I'm also going to close 50% here. Close half soon. If we start to reject and I go below 40 pips, I'll close half. If I go below 40 pips, I'll close half. Secure some profits here. But until then, I think we're really good to go. We have a lot of liquidity on the hourly time frame as well. I think could potentially even see like 100 pips to the top side. Really could see that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to push my TP up to the previous daily resistance, but I'll just close another half here. I'm going to close another half here, and I'm going to put my TP up to the previous daily resistance, because that should be the target for the weekly candle, right? If we go to the time frames, but I've closed another half, so I've secured half profits. So I just got 1.54 running at this point. Let's go to the time frames, right? Because as soon as we start breaking above the daily highs, which is like the daily highs are right there, we have the previous daily highs, which is kind of like our next level that we need to watch out for. I wish like MetaTrader 5 was a little bit more flexible so I could show you guys. But I've secured some more profits up there. But because look, you gotta understand, right? The Friday's got to close somewhere. Where does it need to close? If we go all the way to the weekly as well, let's see what the weekly looks like. Look at the weekly as well. It's like right above this resistance. The weekly highs are up there. We have such a clean candle to the left. This is when you have momentum. Why not? We can push all the way to the top side. Why not? Why not? Because look at the daily candle. It's done nothing, right? It hasn't even broken its own highs. So when it breaks its own highs, it's going to stop us so many people. You got to understand that, right? It's going to grab so much liquidity. When you have that liquidity, buy orders are going to get executed. You're going to go straight up to the previous weekly high, right? So a really good target could be like your weekly highs. Friday could potentially go up there. Look at that, 42 pips up again. Really nice. I think I'm going to hold this. Most definitely, I'm going to hold this. I wish I had a chance to scale in on this though. Because that's one thing we do as traders, right? We always scale in on our losers, but we never scale in on our winners. Why do we not do that? But there we go. Another half secured up here now. I'm holding this up to the next weekly resistance, which is about 97 pips. So yeah, let's see how it plays out. Should be good, I think. Should be able to hit the target for sure. So we might be seeing 100 pips TP being hit today, guys. I'm gonna just move it up to 100 pips just for the sake of it, right? Why not? There we go, 100 pips TP. Let's see if we can hit that. I'm holding this all the way to the top side. Another half has been closed here. I think we should be good to go up. Hopefully the next 15 minutes we can get a really nice push up to the top side. 100% transparent. Yes, exactly, guys. We're all about transparency. All about transparency. All about transparency. Because look, trading is not about preventing losses. You cannot prevent a loss. It's about managing your loss, keeping your losses small, and like adding to your winners. Because when you have these winners, look, we never had a 40 pip loss. We don't take 40 pip losses, do we? Our losses are at average about 20 pips. So this is really great so far. I'm going to hold this for at least 100 pips. But I did close another, obviously, there we go. This would have been my TP hit, guys, by the way. This would have been my TP hit. So look at this beast. It's just going to fly now. I think this is going to just fly. So now, obviously, next bit of area we have approaching is this up here. Oh, look at this, 62 pips up, guys. Amazing. Drop a W in the YouTube live stream. 62 pips up. I think 100 pips are coming today, guys. I'm holding this till I see 100 pips. 62 pips up, guys. Look at this beautiful trade. Imagine if I had my stop loss open for the other trade, I could have had 2 positions running right now, like more than 100 pips running at the moment. But what a beautiful trade, right? What a beautiful trade. So guys, such an amazing trade on a Friday. I'm almost 56 pips up right now, and it was a winning trade. Everyone took this with us on the YouTube live stream, as you guys can see. And yeah, we'll be back again from Monday to do the same thing again and again. So guys, we have 25 people, 26 people watching right now. Can we start dropping a like on the YouTube live stream? Let's see how many likes we have right now. Because if you guys drop a like, that would help with the algorithm. And look at this trade. I told you guys it's going to fly, and it's flying right now. So we have only 10 likes. Come on, guys. Let's at least get like 20 likes. We only have like 10 likes right now. Come on. All you got to do is just press a button. And look at this. This is with 100% transparency. We show you our losses. We show you everything. And look at this. I'm going to hold this because it makes sense, right? Because the weekly's got to go somewhere. But my TP would have been hit, by the way, right now. So I'm going to hold this now to 100 pips because you got to see this, right? The rejection was from up here. So I can easily get those 100 pips. Really, really nice trade. Really, really nice trade. Hey, take care, Finny. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining again. Hope everyone caught this amazing move to the top side on a Friday. And yeah, at this point, honestly, unless we start breaking these hourly lows, we're really good to go up. Really, really good to go up. We got this area that we're approaching here as well. Probably a lot of liquidity up here as well. As soon as we start breaking above there again, we're gonna see a really nice push. So the next area we are looking out for is this over here. This is the next area. As soon as we start breaking above this, I think we're gonna see 100 pips to the top side. And the last bit of area that I have where I'm gonna potentially look to secure everything is that area there. That's a dangerous area right there. That's where you see a lot of selling momentum kicking from. A lot of selling. So there we go. More than 60 pips up, guys. More than 60 pips up. So we have 15 likes now. Appreciate that, guys. Let's see if we can get another 5 likes before our TP gets hit. And we'll be doing this literally like every single day, Monday to Friday, with like 100% transparency. So yeah, nothing to lose here, right? Look, we took a sell position. We kept our stop loss really tight. We didn't risk a lot of money on it. It didn't work out. We took another buy position. Actually, it was the same trade as this, right? It did work out if I did secure, obviously, my 1-to-1. But obviously, it got stopped at break even. So technically, it was a break even trade. And then again, we took the same trade. We waited for a better entry, executed on our entry. And look at this now. It's running on almost more than 50 pips profits. Amazing, right? Amazing. That's what trading is about, keeping your losses small and letting your winners just fly. Why not? You don't want to let your losers fly. You just want to cut your losers because there should be no emotions involved. But let's see if we can kind of like... let's see what happens. Look, as soon as we start breaking above this, let me just annotate, show you guys. Look, as soon as we start breaking above this, we're going to grab some more liquidity, right? So hopefully if we can start breaking these highs again with the explosion, we're going to go up to this area. And then at that point, I'm going to look to take out my TP just over here somewhere. Until then, I'm holding this for sure. Because as long as we respect the hourly lows, which are all the way down there, we should be good. These are your hourly lows. Obviously, a lot of sells are being executed over here. A lot of sellers are sitting up here. So you're going to see this massive rejection, right? But until you break these lows, you should be good. You should be good to go. Should be good to go. Because gold needs to go one way, right? Either to the top side or the downside. And right now, everything is screaming to the top side. So yeah, this just becomes a really nice rejection again because of this area right here. You guys can see a lot of sell orders are here. So yeah, that's why our trade is risk-free at this point. That's the best thing about it, right? It's a risk-free trade. That's the amazing thing about it. So it's a risk-free trade. And our stop loss is way below the hourly lows as well. So at this point, maybe it might want to form a new hourly low, make a little bit of a deeper wick because it rejected off of here and go straight back up. So yeah. But yeah, there we go. As I said, this area we do need to keep in our mind. A lot of rejections. That's why we did secure profit. So yeah, amazing at this point. This is just our runners doing some damage. It shouldn't matter. It's just our runner, right? Just our runner. That's all it is. Nice, we have 16 likes now. Thank you guys. Thank you. Amazing stuff. Yesterday was honestly such a boring session because of GJ. Oh, GJ is so hard to trade, man. It's not even that it's hard to trade. It's just like you need to have so much, like when it comes to patience, you need to be so patient, right? Trading GJ because it's such a slow moving pair. But with gold, again, like today was actually a prime example that gold was being slow. But again, even though gold was so slow, we still had such a nice move to the top side. With GJ, when it's being slow, you're going to see like 1 minute, 2-3 pips. It's going to move like 1 pip. Not even 2-3 pips. It's going to move like 1 pip. Barely 1 pip on a minute candle. But look at gold. Gold is just amazing. So the hourly lows have not been violated yet. So still good to go. It's potentially just a retest. If you guys see this level that we do have a resistance level right here. So potentially we're just retesting this to go back up. Right now, nothing is screaming sells in my opinion. Everything is saying buys, right? So look at this. Price is potentially retesting this area. So as long as we respect the lows, I think we should be good to go. But if we do start violating the lows, at that point, you're like, okay, now most probably is going to form a new low. And where does usually price push up from? It pushes up from this area, right? So most probably we're going to end up getting stopped out. So yeah. But if we do respect this area, you're going to see more buy orders being executed here. It's going to go straight back up, form a new high, and basically I want to take out my TP here at the next resistance area. I'm not going to wait for this resistance area to break because it seems like the volatility is starting to die down a little bit, but this is your new 15-minute open. Let's see if with this we can start breaking to the top side. You want to see a nice engulfing candle taking us all the way to the top side. Garcia, my brother, did you secure some profits?
Yeah, brother, I did. I gotta run because I got a important business thing at the bank. So
I bet. I hear
thank
you,
you
my
for
brother.
an amazing session.
Of course, my brother. Thank you as well. See you next week. Yeah. Take care. Have a lovely weekend. Have a lovely, lovely weekend.
You too, brother. Do you want to back test gold this weekend or something?
Let's do it, bro. Let's do it. Let me know. Hit me up, man. You got my number.
Yep, bet,
All right, my
brother.
brother. Have a good one.
Everybody
Yeah.
have a great day, great weekend.
Peace, 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 peace. But yeah, well, nice session this was, guys. Literally like ending Friday on this note. Such a good session, honestly. And we were disciplined. We were really, really disciplined. So approaching Monday now, we're gonna do the exact same thing. So make sure you guys tune in on a Monday as well. But really nice session. Honestly, really, really nice session. We was like 60 pips up. Really, really nice session. So guys, obviously our session has ended now as well. I'll let this trade run, but I'm gonna call you a day on the YouTube live stream as well. Thank you guys again for joining. Make sure you guys drop a like if you haven't. That helps a lot with the algorithm. I appreciate that. Thank you guys. But again, thank you for joining. What is your name, man? My name is Daniel. It's Daniel, but in my country it's pronounced Danial. But usually people call me Daniel. So yeah. Obviously guys, thank you for joining. Catch up with you guys on Monday. And yeah, peace. Have a lovely one. By the way, I'm gonna let this run. And I'm going to move my TP just above, just here basically, to the top side. But the daily highs did get broken. It did break the daily highs at this point as well. Yeah, literally TP just up here. I'll put my TP up there. I'll let you guys know on Insta if my TP does get hit or if I get stopped out at break even. I just got one lot running, so it's not really a big deal to be honest. If the TP does get hit, I'll make like 1.3k, so it's really not a big deal. So yeah, guys, I think it's coming back up again. Look at that. You're turning this area into your support area. But so I'll be holding this trade now, but I'm not looking to scale in or anything like that. So make sure you guys drop a like. Have a lovely weekend, guys. Go enjoy time with your family, whatever you guys want to do. And I'll catch up with you guys on a Monday. Peace. Thank you for joining.